wonderful work in this propagation of the gospel of Biafra. That is a platform that belongs to Dr. Mazanga, African World Media TV. They are doing a very great job when it comes to making sure that the world hears our voice. And I want to read this press statement that was issued. This press statement is very important, and the press statement issued by a Pan-African forum, it is very important because the world is watching, more especially on Twitter. And I want to read the press statement for you to understand that the world cannot pretend anymore. They can't say they're not seeing what is happening in the zoo. They are seeing it, and we are forcing them to speak. And it's going to get to a time when they will have no choice but to speak. Other voices, not just the voice of the Biafrans, other independent voices are also talking. And here is the press statement that was released. It says, this press statement was released about a few minutes ago. It was said it was released today, to be precise, the 7th of August 2025. It says, press statement for immediate release, date August 7, 2025. Rearrange Nigeria or risk full-scale war. President at official bat Tinubu. Rearrange Nigeria or risk full-scale war. Nigerian diplomatic paralysis is a continental crisis. Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, the Pan-African Forum Limited, an associate express, gave concern over the continued collapse of Nigerian diplomatic representation. For 2 years, Nigeria has no substantive ambassador or high commission following the mass recall of 109 envoys by President Official Ahmed Tinubu, with no replacement appointed to date. You can imagine. You can imagine. 109 people were recalled from this kind of a very strong body. High Commission. Ambassadors were recalled. For 2 years, Nigeria has no substantial ambassador or high commissioner following the mass recall of 109 envoys by President Tinubu, with no replacement appointed up to date. This statement was issued today. This statement was issued today. So when we are saying that Nigeria has ended, some of you think it is not a propaganda. There are facts backing what we are saying. There are facts to back what we are saying, that Nigeria is a failed state and has failed completely. You can imagine. You can imagine. Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, the Pan-African Forum Limited Associate expresses grave concern over the continued collapse of Nigeria diplomatic representation. The collapse of Nigeria diplomatic representation, it is not ordinary. It is not ordinary. Nigeria is a failed state and can no longer be represented in any place. They are calling them after mass recall of 109 envoys by President Tinubu, with no replacement appointed up to date for the past 2 years. This represents a catastrophic failure in foreign policy, diplomacy, and national governance. The absence of ambassadors has rendered Nigeria embassies functionally mute, with acting diplomats lacking both political authorities and strategic leverage. When we come and tell you that the zoo has ended, you wouldn't understand. When Mazen Nande cannot tell you that the zoo is gone, Mazen Samane will say the zoo is gone and cannot recover. Some of you think because you are hearing Tinubu in Asorock and they still existing. Internationally, they are nowhere. They are nowhere. Recalling 109 diplomats in a single stroke was sweeping, but failing to replace them for 2 years shows either a total breakdown of state processes or a deliberate hollowing out of Nigeria international presence. This is not leadership. This is abdication. Of course, how can it be leadership? The person they have in Asorock was not even elected, by the way. A drug baron that had been convicted for crime in foreign countries. How can he effectively run the country? He's even afraid putting people to go and stand and represent. What are you going to represent? What are you going to represent? For some of us who think, when we say that Biafra has come, you think it's just a mere word. Nigeria is gone and gone for good, and it's not recovering again. Never, will never. In the statement, they say, this is not leadership. This is abdication. It is sad for those who still say there is Nigeria. Nigeria has collapsed. They made it clear. Nigeria has collapsed. Its foreign policy has flatlined. Its embassies are empty. Its people abroad are unrepresented. This is not the Africa we are fighting for. This is a betrayal of African dignity and global role. When we say that Nigeria is the failure of Africa, you don't listen. When we say that if you want to make Africa stand, you must disintegrate Nigeria, you don't listen. From this statement, you now begin to understand better. And we, the Biafrans, have already provided a solution, a remedy. Biafra is the only remedy. Whether you like it, whether you don't like it, whether you love us or you hate us, it cannot change anything. Your hatred for Biafra cannot change anything. Nigeria's silence has damaged Africa's credibility in international diplomacy. Are you hearing that? Nigeria's silence has damaged African credibility in international diplomacy. From ECOWAS, the African Union, to multilateral forums such as the United Nations, COP summits, and continental peace effort. Are you now seeing the damage the zoo have done to Africa itself? And when we are talking about Biafra as a remedy, some people think it's just a joke, or you think we are saying it out of envy or jealousy. From every indication diplomatically, in as much as people are not paying attention, Nigeria is gone. Internationally, they are nowhere. They are nowhere. Your politicians are just busy there, keeping you busy, making you feel as if you have a state, you have a Asorock, you have this, sharing the resources within themselves. A failed state that cannot be governed. That is why there is no rule of law. Anybody can wake up and say it. That is why you see the one called Wike playing in Abuja with nobody to control it. That is why Tinubu can do it. That is why they can postpone the case of Mazen Nandekana 1,000 times and nobody will hold them accountable. Because they have exited many important places where they're supposed. Remember, the United Nations told them to release Mazen Nandekana. A body in United Nations gave them 6 months to release Mazen Nandekana. That 6 months expired. They never responded, didn't do anything. Up to today, they are dragging Mazen Nandekana. Amnesty International have weighed in. Many bodies in the world have told them, let this man go. Just of recent, Mazen Nandekana won his case in Kenya, but they continue to hold him. When we say Nigeria is a failed state, you don't understand. Nigeria's silence has damaged African credibility in international diplomacy. From ECOWAS and the African Union to multilateral forums such as the United Nations, COP summit, continental peace effort. These are where Nigeria has damaged the reputation of Africa in general. So when you see Biafrans coming online to talk, we are trying to save Africa from shame. In Biafra, Africa died. And in Biafra, Africa will resurrect. For those of you who are talking about Pan-Africa this and Pan-Africa that, we have to start from where the water spoiled. The water got spoiled from the Zoological Republic. That was the point where they rumpled the water. That zoo must be disintegrated and people go their separate ways. Only then and then, Africa will now focus on the recovery process. This dangerous vacuum enables foreign interference, weaken the regional security architecture, and undermine African claim to global seriousness. Of course, they can't be serious. How can anybody take you serious? How? How can Nigeria be in the front line in AU or whatever they call them, and you think people will take you serious? We kind of things they are running. What we are witnessing is not mismanagement. It is the institutional decay of a state that once led West Africa. There is no remedy. It is gone. It is gone. That is it. We therefore issue this public call to the government of Nigeria, immediately restore diplomatic normalcy by appointing and deploying substantive ambassadors and high commissioners. Oh, it's not going to happen. Even if they do, it is gone. This is just I don't know what to call it. To ECOWAS and African Union, place Nigeria diplomatic absence on the agenda of the next summit and hold Abuja accountable. To African civil society and diaspora community, speak out and demand that Nigeria uphold its duty to Africa and to its citizens abroad. That will not happen. Call for the disintegration of the zoo. That is the only solution. No need beating about the bush. All the things they are writing doesn't make sense because it's not going to work. Nigeria is gone and gone. It cannot be recovered again. Nigeria must be rearranged politically, diplomatically, and institutionally, or it will collapse into full-scale war, destabilize West Africa. This is not a warning. It is already happening. You know it is already happening, and we present a remedy. Instead of you to go into the remedy, you are still busy dancing from one side to the other. And that is the problem. People cannot go straight to the point and pursue things. Nigeria rearrangement that is being placed here is the only solution. And that rearrangement is allowing people to go their separate ways peacefully. The Southwest could be on their own. The Harewa be on their own. The Middle Beltans be on their own. And the Biafrans on their own. This is the only solution. And when I see this kind of reports and press statements, the only thing it shows me is that people are watching and they are seeing what is happening. When I see this kind of statement, my joy is that our voice is not silenced. That all this noise we are making every day online is having effect. And it encourages us to do more and continue to speak, no matter how difficult it is. No matter how they try to stop us, there are still people out there who listen and hear what we are doing and what we are saying, and we will never stop. We will never stop. Just like Mazin Nandekano said in the message I just preached, you saw the way he described the zoo. That description fits them. That is why no sensible person will associate himself with them. A failed state that can never, ever, anybody that is talking about recovery, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It is only going to get worse. It will get worse, worse, and worse. Sometimes, when we talk about the situation of Nigeria, people will think maybe we cook up story, and we just come online and say something because we are angry, because we are grieved. It is not just that. Every single thing we say has information to back it up. There are facts to back up every single thing we say. We don't just say it to make people happy. We don't just say it to make people angry. We say it because they are truth. The contraption called Nigeria has not done us any good. It has only brought evil and condemnation to us. It has only brought destruction to us. It has only brought obstruction and hindrances to us. And wherever you are as a Biafran, I urge you in the name of Chukwu Okike to continue to stand strong, never give up. No matter what happens, no matter how difficult it is, as I always say, sometimes when you look, you might see several reasons why you should stop talking about Biafra. Sometimes when you look at things that happen around you, you ask yourself, why are you doing what you're doing? The only thing that we encourage you to go ahead and do what you are doing is when you really find out the reason you are doing what you are doing. You know you're not doing it for anybody. It is because of your own life. When you see that it is to save life, there's nothing somebody will say that will draw you back. The more they try to stop you, you will continue to move forward. Very sad. The evil that is happening in Nigeria is unimaginable. And we cannot continue to pretend that these things are not happening. The whole world can continue to be silent and pretend for. We, the Biafrans, we have had enough. And we are at a time when we have to fight for ourselves. Nobody is going to do it for us. Nobody. If you think that somebody is going to come there, a Messiah is going to come there to save you, you must be joking. We must prepare to save ourselves. Chukwu Okike have given us that grace and opportunity to stand up, speak up for ourselves, and do what we have to do when we have to do it. If you're expecting anything more than that, I bet you are wasting your time. The ball is in our court. He has already given us what we requested for. He has already given us what we asked for. It is left for us to make it a reality. If we decide not to make it a reality and we pray for years, for decades, nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to change. The only thing that is needed now is for us to begin to take actions. We need to begin to take action. We need to begin to do what we have to do. And it lies on every one of us. It's in our hands. Nobody can do it for us. Only you and I can fight this battle and fight it for ourselves. Nobody will be there to help us and fight it. The contraption called Nigeria does not mean well for us. That is why they don't care about terrorism in Nigeria. As we speak, people are still being kidnapped. As we speak, the terrorists are still coming in mass, taking over villages, taking positions in Nigeria. It's just a question of time. It's just a question of time. And they will run over everywhere. That is why we don't want that to happen while we are still in the ship. That is why we have walked out of that ship. That is why declaration has been made so that we can create that demarcation and protect and defend our land. Because only Biafra can give us the security and safety that we deserve. Nothing can give us security and safety except Biafra. Nothing. There is nothing that can give us the security and safety that we deserve except Biafra. So my fellow Biafrans, wherever you are, you must tighten up your belt. It's not going to be easy, and it is not yet over. We will continue to listen and we continue to follow up until when we get to our destination, which I believe we surely get there, no matter how difficult it is. No matter how difficult it is. As long as we remain consistent in the pursuit, just like Mazin Nandikan and Mazin Simon Eber, they are going to join us and we will overcome this very battle very soon. Let us hear more from our supreme leader, Mazin Nandegan, as we proceed.
The most idiotic thing on the face of this earth. Somebody's from you claim he's Delta, he's a Niger. Don't come here. We are Niger Delta, so don't come here. But Doyin Dokuba is saying that Igbos are suffering because they killed Sadwana. And who killed Sadwana? Chukwumanzoko. From where? From Niger Delta. And you're telling me that we are okay. I hate it. No, seriously, no. Jokes apart, are we normal? People that listen this way, are we okay? He's not an Igbo man. But when you want to kill Igbo, he becomes an Igbo man. He said that the bandits terrorizing you, those that took Leah Shuaibu, because everybody is now doing everything under Boko Haram, which of course is a lie. It's not Boko Haram. These are Fulani bandits sponsored by Fulani governors and politicians. And when you want to talk, they say, look, our unity is in danger. Go to our unity. You know, when you want to, in those days when we're very small, if you want to, let's say you're there, because people wonder why we say everybody's our brother and why we have this camaraderie in us. Because as children, our parents, so to speak, or guardians will put a sauce in one pot. We eat from one plate. All of us, from one. People think it's a sign of poverty. No. It is bonding beyond bonding. You know, let's say there are 4 of you eating this oha soup, or bitter leaf, or vegetable soup, and the meat, as you're eating, you know, I never knew the fingers can be so sensitive. As you're eating, the middle long finger is checking where there's obstacle. Any obstacle is either fish or meat. You know that for sure. Let's say you check it and it's only 2, and there are 4 of you, and you want to eat the meat. Everybody who grew up in the village will identify what I'm telling you now. You tell them, oh, can you see that cockroach on the wall? As they all look towards the wall, you take the meat and put it in your mouth. You reduce the number of the meat, or the piece of meat in the pot, to 1, from 2 to 1. You quickly chew it and you swallow it. The reason why you were able to do that was because you distracted their attention by pointing them to something that caught their interest. And as they looked towards that very place, you now managed to take the meat. And you saw every boy in the village acts now. All over the world, they know what I'm telling you. They know it. Now, let me tell you how it happens. Because I want to tell you how stupid Nigerians are. That's what I'm doing, nothing more. Do you know how foolish Nigerians are? Fulani brought AK-47 into Nigeria, gave it to their bandits. Here it is, Fulani opened their mouth to say, those who are doing banditry are Fulani cattle rearers. Understand this very clearly. Now, in order to stop us from getting together to challenge them, anything you do becomes treasonable felony. That's the trick. It's a very clever trick. So anything, Nigeria is breaking all our unity, our founding fathers, they keep pointing you to unity of Nigeria, and being the idiot that you are, as you're looking at unity of Nigeria, they are busy in your forest kidnapping, raping, pillaging, destroying. It's a very simple, it's a very simple trick. They occupy you with that thing as American ambassador came with her diversity in diversity rubbish. There is strength in diversity. We are telling you that Leah Shuaibu is in captivity. Second child now. We are telling that Fulani is in my forest. They're telling me about unity in diversity. In another story. Fulani, they are raping my mothers in Eleme. They are killing them. We are an idiot easy who claims he's not Igbo, he's a Niger Delta. One idiot serving Fulani. Are you listening? Our mothers are being raped. Our land is being destroyed. Invaders, they claim from Futajalo, invaders from Mali are in my village, raping and killing our women. When I rise up to challenge them, you tell me, remember the unity of Nigeria, one Nigeria, nobody should, you're hitting up the polity. Hey. And some of you bought into that nonsense. Because you're foolish. As a Nigerian, you're an idiot. You have no brain. I challenge you to an open debate. Come, I travel all over the world. Come out and debate me. Shoyinka never uttered a word against Fulani bandits until their cattle ate his cabbage and carrot. Until they ate his cabbage and carrot in his farm. Now he started speaking up.